Hey everyone, welcome back to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. As usual, this is your host Iggy, and today I'm going to present to you some Star Wars things, an assortment of Star Wars items that I found in a box in storage last week. These items escaped the Great Purge. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, um, the Great Purge refers to when I took my Star Wars collection to the flea market and began selling it off for virtually pennies on the dollar because I had lost my job and I had to pay the rent. So desperation causes you to do desperate things. But I sold off about half my collection. I sold off all of my vintage Star Wars except for, I think, an Imperial shuttle. I think that's the only thing that I was able to keep. But I sold off all the Rebel vehicles I had because those sold really well. For some reason, people were paying pretty good money for those. The figures I only got, like, for carded figures, I only got $2. And for loose figures, I only got $1. So it was pretty depressing. Um, But anyway, let's not focus on that. Let's move on. These are items that are survived. These are survivalists. And I was pretty pleased when I opened the box because I didn't know what was in the box and I found these things. So let's begin. How about it? I think you guys are ready for a change. You're sort of burned out on G.I. Joe, I imagine. I'm not, but that's Iggy. Iggy loves all this stuff. So, first up is a TIE fighter. It's an improved model over the one that they first issued. And it comes with a TIE fighter pilot, which, here, let me turn on the flashlight here. There. You should be able to see into the darkness there. Oh, the Empire is so dark. Actually, I'm an imperialist, so I don't subscribe to that notion. Everyone's had a bad supervisor, so you can't blame the Emperor. Oh, I'm going to get some hate mail. Um, so it has some really nice details. It has a button like the original. It has a button that you press and the wings pop off so that you could simulate the TIE fighter being destroyed. There's the interior of the cabin on the eyeball. I call it the flying eyeball. Did you guys ever see a movie called The Crawling Eye? That movie could have been really good, but God, do you remember the special effects at the end where they showed jets bombing the mountain that the crawling eyes were on? I busted out laughing because you could actually see the string that they were swinging the jets on. You guys got to see it, please. Um, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Uh, So this came out in 2003. I've got two TIE fighters left, and I think I have a TIE interceptor left. And that's it for my Imperial fleet. Everything else got sold. I don't think I had a lot of TIE fighters. I probably sold two of them. Okay, next up is an ATST. Now, this one represents a time in Iggy's life when he was really going through some hardships. When I left California, I was homeless and on the verge of bankruptcy. And I finally got a job. Well, actually, I got a job at a place called Steinmart, and I was there for a year. And then I went to Walmart, and I ended up staying at Walmart for something like 8.5 years or something like that. Um, you see there, it's got the Walmart exclusive. This is from 2009. And in 2009, I was really suffering. I only made $7.50 an hour. So I wasn't doing too good, or too well, rather. But at any rate, I still had the fever, and I bought this My brother would freak out if he saw this because at the time, my brother was spending a lot of money trying to keep me afloat. You know, he's buying me gasoline, he's buying me groceries, he would take me to a movie. He was trying to keep me alive, I guess. And I should have never purchased this, but like I said, I my collecting was more of a like a drug habit. And I think the reason I did it is like drugs, it gave me a high, but it was only temporary until I bought something else. And of course, you had to keep buying stuff to keep that high going. So it might have been cheaper if I got involved with heroin. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's nothing to joke about. But I did have a problem, I admit it. And you guys have seen some of the results of that. You guys haven't even seen half of it. A lot of it I'm not showing you because it's been so severely damaged in storage. Now, if you're new to the channel, what I should tell you is that my things have been in storage on and off since 1990, but so only 3 years not in storage, and the rest of the time. So that's quite a while. I work with people that weren't even born yet. That when I started storage. Anyway, this is the all-terrain Scout Transport. I think that's what the acronym stands for. And it comes with a driver. Let's see if I can find him in the box here. There he is, way in the background there. You see the Forest of Endor. How many of you thought that the Ewok battle was baloney? I'm trying to be nice by saying baloney. I think the Empire would have crushed them. But that's just I'm speaking as an imperialist, so just to give you a frame of reference, I'm biased. Okay, so there's the AT-ST. This is a little bit larger than the original Kenner version of the AT-ST. I did have one of those, and I sold that, of course, at the flea market. Now, next up is these two sets here. One is of Han Solo and Chewbacca. This one's called the Death Star Escape. And they came out with several different sets that were boxed like this. You could almost, if you wanted to, display them on the bookshelf just as they are. But if you didn't want to do that, you could take it. Oh, I hiccuped. You could take it out. I had a sun-kissed orange soda. Those are good. Not a sponsor. Nobody wants to sponsor these crazy things I'm doing here. You could. It has that nice background and a stand, and you could just put it up like that, or leave it in the package. Um, it also had Luke and Leia, what they called Swing to Freedom, which I used to own, but I sold that at the flea market. I had intended to sell these two, but no one was interested. It's all about timing, I guess. And here's the final Jedi duel between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader. And it has a really cool background there. You see the Millennium Falcon in the background. And that's a cool set as well. I'm glad I didn't sell them. And then here's a Darth Vader helmet. Now, this I bought at Disneyland in 1990. And it cost, I saw the sticker for it. It's on the inside of the helmet there. It was $44.99. Now, guys, I don't know if you remember this, but in 1990, $45 was a lot of money. To me, it's a lot of money now, but even more back then, because of course it was worth more back then. I gleefully and gladly paid for it because when I saw this helmet, I went berserk. I bought it at the gift shop that was next to Star Tours. And if you've ever been to Disneyland in California, the Star Tours had a pretty cool gift shop. They would play the Star Wars music in the background. It was pretty exciting. Now, when I got this, I couldn't stop wearing it. I remember Denise asked me to go to school with her. Uh, she was going to Oxnard College and at the time, and so I went with her, and she was humiliated because I wore this. And she actually got pretty mad that I was wearing this helmet on the way down there. She said, "Well, people are staring," and I'm like, "So I'm glad." You have to remember that in 1990, Star Wars was kind of, it's not like it is today. It was kind of like on its way out. Uh, the last Star Wars movie was when 1983, Return of the Jedi. However, in the early 90s, something happened that caused a slow and then rapid revival, and that was the release of Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. And those books really sparked interest in Star Wars again. And the reason they were so successful is because the Empire weren't like Battlestar Galactica Centurions. If you remember that show, they would always get blown up by Starbuck or whatever. Starbucks? No, that's coffee. I can't remember now. Anyway, the Empire did really well in the books, and that's what made those books exciting. The rebels really irritate me. I don't like them, but like I said, I'm biased that way. Okay, so at the end of the line here, I got Bosk. He's one of the bounty hunters that you saw uh, talking with Darth Vader. Um, and what was it? Empire Strikes Back. They were being contracted to hunt down Han Solo. And Darth Vader says to Boba Fett, "No disintegrations." And here is Dengar. And Dengar is also a bounty hunter from that same scene. And I just talked about this guy from Heir to the Empire, Admiral Thrawn. He's the only expanded universe figure that I wanted. Usually I don't care for expanded universe things, and this figure was an exception, and because I really like that story. And this is what we call red card for obvious reasons. The green cards followed up on the red, and the red cards were the first year that Star Wars came out. This one is of Boba Fett. I used to have quite a number of Boba Fetts. I sold those as well. They were kind of easy money. And what else I got here? Boba Fett. And this is one of the droids from Empire Strikes Back. If you remember, C3PO walks in on stormtroopers and they blast them into parts. And these droids were responsible for uh, disassembling them, I guess, along with the Ugnaughts. And here he is using a torture device on a droid. You can see the red hot coils there that he would pull a lever and they would burn a droid's feet. And here's a new and improved Princess Leia. It says all new likeness. Now, if you guys remember the red card Princess Leia, it was horrible. I I can't say anything about the figure because I will get this video taken down if I say what I think of it. But let's just say she has spindly legs and is not very feminine looking. This is a great improvement. This looks more like Carrie Fisher. And of course, this figure here, every boy wants this figure. This is Slave Girl Leia, which is pretty awesome. Every guy wanted his girlfriend to dress like this for Halloween. There was a girl that came to work like this. They sent her home. I wish they hadn't done that. Anyway, it was pretty amusing. Here we have Palpatine from episode 3. So I guess he's a younger Palpatine, so you don't see his face as wrinkled as he was later in the franchise, or earlier. I'm not sure how to say that. Because this is supposed to take place before Return of the Jedi. So it's bizarre. But anyway, here's Mon Mothma. I guess she was the mom of the rebellion or something. I used to work with a girl who cut her hair. She had gorgeous red hair. Just absolutely stunningly beautiful. And she was cuter than a button. And she cut her hair like that. Oddly enough, the only effect it had on me was it made me want her sexually, which I never thought of her that way when her hair was longer, even though she was way prettier. Isn't that weird? It's kind of backwards, I guess. Maybe I lost respect for her. I don't know. Let's see. Then we have an emperor. This is from the Green Card series, of course. And he's got a much cooler visage. He's got his little cane there, which was in the movie was a very heavily lacquered walking stick. That's pretty cool. There's a guy, I think his name is BJ Wimpy, and he does an impersonation of the Emperor, and it's really hilarious. He went into a Target store, he rang up some stuff, and he turns around and looks at this woman and her child, and they just act like he's not there. People are really strange when they see something that makes them uncomfortable. Anyway, I thought it was hilarious, and he comes walking out the door, and the guy filming him, he looks at him and he goes, "Stay on target, stay on target," which is not a line that the Emperor used, but it was funny that he was at Target and said that. Anyway, look him up. His name is BJ Wimpy. He has quite a number of videos that I think you guys would find entertaining. If you like the Emperor, I guess. Or even if you don't. All right, guys, this is all I've got for you. This was a surprise to find all these goodies in one box. You can imagine, if you like Star Wars, how it felt when I opened this box. Some of you don't care for Star Wars. I notice there's not much crossover for guys who like soldiers and tanks. I like Star Trek, Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Also like 12-inch figures, 132 scale figures, 135 scale models, 172, I guess 176, Rocco mini tanks. I like all that stuff. And that's probably why Iggy is broke. But it sure gave me plenty of stuff to collect. Of course, nowadays, it's kind of limited to Star Wars things that are... Like, I want to show you this before I go. Let me see if I can find it. It's on one of these. What'd I do with it? Here it is. Check this out. Can you see it? I don't know if you guys can see that. It's the price stick. There it is. $4.99. The store that this came from was Kmart. Well, the price $4.99 isn't around anymore, and neither is Kmart, which is weird. I always thought there would be a Kmart, but I thought that about Montgomery Ward's, Sears, Woolworths, JCPenney, this department store in California that I worked for called May Company. They went under. They got bought up by Broadway, who got bought up by Macy's. So retail is pretty tough. You either adapt or you die, I guess. Maybe that's what happened to the Empire. You guys take care of each other. Be well. Continue collecting. I don't want to be the only one with a sickness. Misery loves company. Uh, but I do want to caution you, if it's going to cause you financial hardship or difficulties with your wife or girlfriend, you guys may want to tone it down a little bit. If you're forced to put it into storage, don't do it. Virtually everything I had. Now, these are, considering that these have been in storage, these are pretty minty. I mean, check it out. There's no creases or wrinkles. The card is not dimpled or crushed in any way. I I couldn't believe it when I saw how fresh these cards looked, and they're all like that. It's like nothing happened to them, which is very unusual. Most items that I take out of storage are damaged to the point where I didn't even want to show them to you. So I caution you, this is a cautionary tale as well as hopefully providing some entertainment. Not my jokes, of course, but the items here. Uh, what was I going to say? Oh, a cautionary tale, because you don't want to get in yourself into financial difficulties or cause problems with someone that you care about. So that's it for me, Iggy. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It's just you have to, be a little careful. Don't be a nutcase like Iggy is. Shouldn't say was, I should say still is. Okay, guys? Be good to each other. Remember to keep uh, collecting, and thank you for getting Iggy with it. And for those of you who've joined the Iggy Army, I want to thank you. And I'll see you next time. I think my next video I'm going to try to put out today as well, because I'm trying to clear out some of this stuff I got piled up over here and back there and over here. Because right now we're in my bedroom. And, it's kind of weird when your bedroom looks like a warehouse. Anyway, you guys take care, okay? I'll see you.